Hello, everyone, and welcome to Flannel Legacies. This podcast is presented to you by a dipshit who doesn't know what he's talking about, me, CyberJ112. I am joined by my co-host, Garwin Kazul, and today we're going to be talking about some topics that are dear and near to our hearts. And that topic is gaming and its current place in our society, where it has been, and where it is currently going.
It's definitely a talk we need to have as a people in general, really.
Truly, it is. Uh, Lately, I've noticed gaming has become more of a taboo topic because, for me personally, it's a way of escapism. It's a way how to escape reality and deal and cope with my emotions in a, albeit unhealthy way. Because as I said, it's a way of escapism. It's not dealing with emotions. It's not actually, processing them and getting through them. It's running away from them and just putting them in a little box in the corner and then stacking books on top of it, hoping that what's in it won't jump out at me one day.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate state of being that a lot of us have been living our whole lives. Games definitely
Yep.
help keep it that way.
Oh yeah, they do. Games such as but not limited to, some of our favorite games, which may or may not include, for myself, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim is one of those games I can always pick up and know how to play because no matter what, if ever I start a playthrough, I will start one and stop one at the drop of a dime. I know the beginning of Skyrim better, probably as good as anyone that's been on the internet since 2011. Uh, Skyrim, it was one of those games that when it first came out, I jumped on that thing. Oh, so hard. It was a wonderful game. Although I have played most of the Elder Scrolls games, and I am watching as Garwin is holding up a hey, you're finally awake. Ah, yes, he's holding up a pillow that has just Rayloff plastered on it. Oh, that is a beautiful pillow.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
A friend of
But
mine got me
Skyrim,
for it as a joke birthday gift.
oh, that's not a joke. That's a wonderful birthday
Oh, it
gift. Oh,
definitely
you,
is.
oh yeah.
Forgot what his actual one was.
But Skyrim and really and truthfully, all Elder Scrolls games to me, they have a special place in my heart because I love the fantasy games. I'm a Dungeons and Dragons player. I've played it since I was young. I've played it since my teen years. It's very close to my heart as well as video games. However, slowly I've noticed that my identity as a human being and my identity as a player are slowly becoming separate entities, which is kind of where we come today, where I, CyberJ112, and the separate entity J are kind of different people. And it's strange because I try to be myself here. I try to be myself when I'm playing a game, but I'm slowly slipping into this persona that I've built for myself. It comes to be with games because there is a slight variation in the two. Because you're playing as an avatar, you're not playing as you, you're not playing as say Garwin, you're not playing as Jay, you're playing as Farsil Thangborin. You're playing as Dreadlord XXX 27.
As Lern Res von Drakenhof.
Exactly. You're playing as Blargnarth, the destroyer of worlds.
Or Sipa Dubade, the funny one.
Exactly. People, we create these names, these usernames, these avatars, these characters, and we play as them. But slowly, I feel as though that separation between player and character is slowly becoming two separate entities in our own identity. Because my identity as Jay, this entity that I am, and the entity I am as in Cyber Jay, I feel as though by me trying to make them as close as possible, I'm slowly becoming both a persona and a person. And I don't like that. I don't like how me being Cyber Jay in a game has become me being someone else entirely. I want to be me at all times when I play a game, but yet I'm instead Cyber J. It's terrifying because then it's this disassociative thing where you can say anything through the internet. You can be anyone, say anything, do anything through the confines of the internet, through the confines of a game. Yet, should you? Like, hear me out, Garwin. I could be 500 pounds. Like, everything that you see on screen is just a filter. You don't actually know anything truly about me. I could be someone completely different. Hell, I could be freaking female for all you know.
Yeah. Like, I've been looking around and checking out voice filters and whatnot. A lot of them are more, robotic and fantastical, but there are some good ones out there.
Oh yeah, deepfakes, yeah. But it's that it's so terrifying to me that I could literally create this entire persona online and no one would know. No one would be the wiser. Like, it's terrifying to me.
It reminds me, like, of a dilemma I had when I was an early teen, I think. Don't remember exactly, it's been too long ago. Like, it's not the exact same thing, but it's similar somewhat, where I tend to adapt how I act to the people I'm talking with and the groups and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a young teen, I did that to a more extreme degree, where I basically became a different person depending on who I was talking with and how they reacted. It started small, obviously, like just don't say these things around these people, mention this stuff, act a little bit more happy, act a little bit less, and eventually it grew and grew until I couldn't tell who the fuck I actually was anymore. I didn't know when I was acting and when I wasn't. I didn't know what was me. I didn't know when I was just saying bullshit I didn't believe in or when I was actually saying something I actually believed in. I couldn't tell anymore. That was a problem I had for a couple years. And, like, I can definitely see how, having a whole other identity online can be similar.
Yeah. It's not that it's similar, it's that it's easier, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Because online, it's so easy to just delete everything and restart. Like, you can completely just break away from any online group you're in and then just create an entirely different identity. Yeah. And it could be your identity or it could be something completely fictitious. And no one would ever know.
Especially if it's text only, because then you have the time to review what you say before you do.
Exactly. And I will say, I'm not perfect. I want everyone to understand, me and Garwin, we're not perfect. These are our experiences. But just imagine, like, some kid, like, say in fucking Oregon. Let's just say in Oregon, United States of America. Some kid just decides, oh my god, I have an idea. I'm gonna be British. And just pretends that they're British for the rest of the school year. Like, and they actually start to convince people that they're British. Like, an entire group of people who've known them their entire life, and then they're like, okay, I have to find out a backstory for how I became like this. And then it slowly evolves into this fantastical story about how, like, oh, well, I was taken as a child. Oh, well, I was truly English, but I didn't want to surprise or scare you away thinking that I was some foreigner.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? Like, there's probably someone out there doing that.
Yeah.
And not to alienate anyone, like saying that it's not wrong to do an accent. It's not wrong to do that at all. Believe it or not, like
some people out there, like it differs from just speaking with a slightly deeper voice to having an entire fucking persona that you present to the world.
Yeah.
It's okay to do all of that.
Yeah.
It's just
I mean,
depends on how well you yourself handle it.
I mean, this voice that you hear right now,
What the fuck was that?
it could be a bit lower.
Or I could talk like this and no one would actually know a fucking difference.
Yeah.
Oh, give me your fucking money, bitch! I'm Oliver! Yeah!
Like my voice, it could be anything, and no one would be the wiser. Like my voice itself, I do believe that my voice is possibly the most identifying part of my physique.
Probably.
Sure, I have long hair. Who the fuck cares? I have that lovely Hispanic olive skin. I love it. However, none of that is truly identifying. I look like just another face in a crowd. But I have been told that my voice in person is very distinct.
Oh yeah.
Because it is both smooth and it just has a intense reverb in person. I have never understand how a voice can have reverb that isn't in a mic. But
it just
who knows? I don't know. But there we go. When it comes to gaming and when it comes to being online, the separation between player and character, it creates a separate identity. So you're able to do things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do in real life, such as with Skyrim and other games like that. I personally enjoy being a thief, an assassin, a little sneaky stab boy. Yeah, because why not? Why the fuck not? And slowly that has evolved, or really de-evolved, into me being a murder hobo.
I know the
Like, and people who know me in real life would often say, I am nothing like how I present myself in games. I am not an evil person. Hell, even in D&D, I genuinely am, like, my persona of just being this horrible asshole towards people. I still try to, like, do the right thing. I still am lawful good. And it still comes through that way.
You're probably the most decent human being in the party I'm running.
That's the sad thing, is that I actually see Brammer, AFG, as a better person than I am. Like, well, truthfully, I see him as a more lawful person than I am. Me, I have... My code is just, I'm good. That's it.
Yeah.
I just try to be a decent human being.
Like, the case between, for example, you and Brammer. Brammer is... Wait, no. Was it Brammer or you who said, let's not kill these people?
In which case?
When you were sneaking into the compound.
Oh, I was telling them to kill them.
Ah, okay. For some, I mixed up who said what there. Never mind.
Because it was enslavement, and I was like, yeah, I don't fucking deal with that. Nah, like slaving, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway, but with games in general, like, it's so easy to turn off your own conscience and play as a different character, play as a different person. But I've begun to ask myself, is this me? Is this who I am? Is this truly who I am? is the player the character, or is the character the player? Which one is which, or are they the same entity? As in, if I play, say, Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed, am I an assassin? Am I some horrible person? Am I a thief? Am I some type of white hat hacker? What am I? Whenever you play a game, you are becoming the entity, the avatar in the game. You play to a certain set of parameters, such as when it comes to God of War. Are you some rageful, vengeful man who's just seeking out just revenge against those who have wronged you? Are you just filled with hatred and spite? Or are you a soft, caring person who just enjoys the game? You have to be able to have a distinct difference between the two. If you don't, then can you say that you are you, or are you the embodiment of Kratos? Are you some other entity entirely? Are you Ezio? Are you... for some reason, I can't think of any other characters in any video games at the moment. Oh, frick. Why can't I think of any?
Master Chief.
Oh, thank you, Master Chief. Although I didn't really play Halo as a kid, I will admit. I didn't play Halo. I was a PlayStation kid.
Yeah.
Hi.
Xbox didn't catch on up here during that period.
Yeah. Xbox, to me... Xbox was for the rich people who didn't understand joy, and they wanted to die over and over and over again playing the same two games, Call of Duty and Halo, over and over again. I was more concerned...
Holy crap.
I was more concerned about...
I don't think I've ever actually seen an Xbox in real life.
Are you serious?
I am.
Then again, it is an American company. It's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah,
so.
But so it's just about basically everything up here in Iceland is owned by something else. Like I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I skipped 3, got PlayStation 4 and then 5. Got PC, all of that stuff, but like, PlayStation was basically everywhere here, but I don't think I've ever seen an Xbox. Like, I know they're out here, because I know people that have played them, that use them. Like a vast majority of friends I've had in the past have owned them and whatnot. I've just never seen them.
Maybe it's something that had to be sent from order.
Maybe.
As in you had to order it online to get it over here, or get it over to you.
Or maybe I'm just so antisocial that I never actually left my house.
That could be it, yeah.
Could be.
But to that, growing up, I was a PlayStation kid, like you. I was PlayStation. And just know this video is not a welcoming ceremony for PC Master Race or PlayStation Kings or Xbox Emperors. No, this is not the place to say console supremacy, PC supremacy. We something another. I'm sorry. This is not about the console war. This is not PC wars. This isn't a... Please do not bring your bias and say, oh, well, this one is so much better. You should totally do this. Don't bring that in here. Please don't. Like, don't attack each other because of someone's console. Like, some kids were lucky enough to have both.
Let the 40-year-old war have a moment of rest.
Please. Like, understand. Xbox, did they make Halo? Yes. Have they beaten Halo into the ground? Yes. Is it a dead horse? Let it die. Yes. Please let Halo... just please let Master Chief die. Let Halo die. Let it die. It served its
biggest mistake was letting what I don't remember the name of the company that's currently writing Halo novels, letting them take over.
Bungie, I believe.
And like the ones who are currently making the games and writing the novels now, that was their biggest mistake, because they butchered a fuckload of the lore. And they've actively on record said that a lot of the people that work for them that write this stuff are actively on record said they don't give a shit about the franchise.
Yeah. To me, it's nothing more than just a cash grab at this point.
Yeah.
Same with Call of Duty. Currently, Activision.
And FIFA.
Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. EA, Electronic Arts, I despise you.
Yeah.
I despise Activision. I despise EA in its entirety. Because, sure, we can go on and on about microtransactions, but it's not. The microtransactions, sure, go ahead. Bleed people dry all you want. But don't fucking make the same game 50 times and act benevolent as if you're providing the community with a needed service. You're not. You're making the same thing over and over and over again.
Me and a friend of mine, Amigo, had a talk, I think, yesterday or the day before about EA. And we effectively came to the conclusion that the last time EA was properly good, was a long time ago, and that the only time you actually know you're going to be playing a good EA game is when you get the EA challenge everything.
Ooh.
That's when you know you're getting a good game, because that's during a time EA actually gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, my man.
Oh yeah.
I remember playing that shit with my brother in that gate outside Minas Tirith, farming that single spot until the orcs stopped spawning.
Oh yeah. Oh. No, my favorite out of the 3 games. Well, actually, no. I don't even think they made the Fellowship. They only made the 2 Towers and the Return of the King.
They did make it. Well, they made a Fellowship, but there was a different team going with a more cartoony style before they switched gears during the Fellowship, or before the 2 Towers. So it's technically connected, but it's soft connected.
Yeah. I remember playing that with a buddy on his GameCube.
Man.
It could have been It could have been a completely different game.
Yeah, and I once got access to the Fellowship of the Ring for that trilogy, because a friend of my brother's gave me a disc with a code in it that I installed on my computer once, and I was going through it. I got stuck on the Nazgul part in the beginning, because I just goddamn fucking Nazgul, and then my computer broke down. Had to get a new one, and then I moved and I forgot the game. Then I went back and got it, started playing it a bit more, but it was on and off now because the thrill had kind of stopped, and then my apartment burned down, and I haven't seen it since.
Oh shit, dude.
Do understand, the era I'm talking about when I actually got access to the Fellowship of the Ring, that's when PlayStation 4 was getting old. 5 hadn't come out yet, but PlayStation 4 was getting old.
I still don't see PlayStation 4 as old. This is sad. I still see PlayStation 4 as new.
Yeah,
and
it is new.
It sucks because I know the release date of it. I know it. I was there for the release date of the PlayStation 3. Dear God, I hate myself.
I remember when I remember sitting in my grandparents' basement playing on PlayStation 1, because like the way my family basically worked is we always went around to different people, staying for like a day or so every now and again, and they because like we like staying connected with our family, and a lot of the older generation got a console or two now and again that were usually gifted to them just to entertain the kids, so the kids wouldn't be complaining. It was hilarious. So they were basically in my family there were like a multitude of PlayStation 1s everywhere, and it's just yes. I remember sitting there playing Tekken with my brother, sitting on an old ass mattress, you know, the foam ones, the yellow foam ones.
Yes, the what was that? The it was the foam that just you sunk into, and it got so freaking hot and sweaty that you couldn't stand to be in it any longer.
Like this is a real thin one just on the floor that if you sat on it, you felt the floor underneath it. So we kind of crumpled it up a bit so we could actually sit on it, and it ended up getting stuck like that because we sat there playing for so long.
Oh jeez. Something similar was with me.
Magic 3. I played that with my brother too.
Something very similar with that happened with me, because I'm pretty sure we're older gamers, and we can we can testify. LAN parties were a massive thing. If you and your buddies had the same console, you would bring multiple consoles into the same area, connect them off of one another. Like if you had like a separate little monitor, even better, you'd all hook them up on the same thing. And there would be 4 guys playing on one screen, 4 guys playing on another screen, and it would be a 4v4 match on like Call of Duty or any game. Oh,
beautiful!
Like, it was wonderful at the time.
Like I remember when I was in middle school, there was this group activity that we could sign up. It wasn't part of the actual school program. It was a different thingy, but a lot of us from that school gathered at another it's another building entirely somewhere else in the town, but it's basically made for the entire building is just made with group activities in mind. It had like it had a room that was just a bunch of PCs. Had another room that had like a billiard table and all that shit. It had a kitchen somewhere and the sleeping quarters, bathrooms and all that shit. It was beautiful. And I remember we would sit in front of the PCs and we would bring USB sticks of like Doom or Heroes of Might and Magic 3 or some shit like that. And we would just install them on the PCs. Like we weren't actually allowed to, but no one ever checked, so we didn't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
We also once installed Alien vs Predator and that old one, the pixelated one in the jungle.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the good days.
Yeah. Like
just
I've
Metal
never
Gear
played
Solid.
a wider variety of games than when we used to do shit like that. That's how I got introduced to new games. It was so fun.
Oh. Speaking of new games, like this is a perfect segue in a way.
Yeah.
So we've talked about like the older games and how are we credible sources for knowing all games ever?
Fuck no.
No. But we have been around long enough to give our opinion on some of these things. And that is not to say that if you're young, you shouldn't have an opinion. You should. You should. However, with us, it comes more from a standpoint of we can look back at what things were and objectively see, oh, so this is where it's going, and we're going to call it out. For younger people, you can see things as they once were, but you don't have that nostalgic feeling behind it. It isn't, you see it as, oh, well, that's where things were? we've come so far from where we were back then.
Yeah.
In terms of graphics and quality, wonderful. But I'm just gonna say, there are some games coming out now that have incredible graphics. I mean, top tier, top of the line. My PC currently, it is a beast of a PC.
Oh, yeah.
It has a 3060, RTX 3060 in it. 32 gigs of RAM. Beefy PC. I played Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think I've had a single playthrough that game hasn't crashed at least 5 times in.
Well, to
And
be fair, that's not a hardware issue. That's a software issue on the game's part. That they're trying.
Yeah.
That they are fixing.
Oh,
They do a
definitely.
pretty phenomenal job of fixing. Just I'd recommend maybe a month more before someone starts, looking into playing it again. At least that's what I hear. I haven't played it myself. Jay probably knows this. I'm more for olden days things than sci-fi.
Oh yeah. Me, I am the opposite. I love fantasy. It is near and dear to my heart, but my favorite genre of anything is cyberpunk. It's science fiction, and I wished that more games were like it. I played for those of you wondering, I played Observer way long ago. Fell in love with the game in its entirety. I fell in love with the dystopian style of it. And from that point on, it became my entire personality.
Oh, beautiful.
But when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, I want people to understand this is not a time to disrespect CD Projekt Red. Do not disrespect them. They did everything they could. If you want someone to fucking blame, if you want anyone to fucking attack, and please don't attack them, please don't, but if you want someone to, look at yourselves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Most of us that were watching the development and waiting for the development of Cyberpunk 2077, the game had been teased so much and we were so ready for it to come out. But then as things went on, more bugs and more advances were being made, and they wanted to implement new things into the game. And the community was like, no, we want it now. And the developers is like, it's not ready yet. We can't give it out now. The public is like, no, you said it was going to be ready on this day. We want it ready on this day. We're trying to give you more content, though. We don't care. We want it now.
Yeah.
Development team is like, you know what? Just give us a month. The community, fine. 1 month. That's all you get. And then the development team, they polish up it. They polish it up as much as they can within a month, and they release the game. And here's the thing. Because they were trying to implement new bits of content, one thing, brain dances.
Oh yeah.
You can buy brain dances in the game, but you can't use them.
Yeah.
I feel as though there was so much cut content in the game that would have been so wonderful to play.
It's the exact same scenario as happened with No Man's Sky. We didn't learn shit from that. To begin with, the fucking poor guy, the developer who they put as the face of the thing, he's an introvert. He doesn't like being on stage or talking with people. You can see it in every single interview. He's shifty, he's shaky, he's nervous as shit. But when you get him talking about development in the game, he gets so passionate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a PR team, so he says things that he wants to be in the game. He says things this and there, and he was always careful not to make any promises, but we took it as promises.
Uh-huh.
And then we started pushing for it to be released. way earlier than they actually wanted. We pushed and we pushed and we pushed until they caved in, and when it wasn't what they promised, we ran in there with pitchforks, we hung ropes around their necks, we hung them up on trees, and we beat the fuck out of them. That's effectively what we did.
Yep.
And how did they respond? You know, they could have done like most any company. Could have just gone, let's make a new game, try and get some cash in there to make something. No. They cut their own ropes, crawled back into the studio, and started releasing patches. Patching up the game.
Same with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and they started adding in all the things they promised. And if I remember, like, when the game was released, they only had like 10% of what was talked about might be in the game, and now they have like 80% of what they talked about.
Yep.
Like, it actually looks like an absolutely amazing game now. It's phenomenal. But here's the thing though, like, we ruined it for our fucking selves.
Yeah, because
and then we blamed them for when it wasn't what we expected when they told us it wouldn't be.
Yeah. It also comes at the expense of, we understand I think both you and me, we understand patience when it comes to games, because we saw games being released, but at the same time, when we were growing up, I didn't really pay attention to release dates. Because whenever I saw a new game was coming out, I was like, oh, that's cool. And I just continue playing Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I was still playing Smash. I was still playing all these other games that I still had. And to me, that was great. And then the new game released, and I was like, oh, finally. And I saved up my money, and I got it.
Yeah.
But
like, we didn't really get news. At least I didn't get news about new games coming out. It's like, if I wanted news about new games coming out, one, I'd have to be actively participating in some internet circles that, you know, were really small and hard to find back then. And me, as a dumbass kid, would never have been able to navigate it since I couldn't read English at the time.
Yep.
Or I would have to actively read Dagbladet, which is basically the daily paper. Not newspaper, just a daily paper of random things happening on Iceland, effectively. And I was a kid, I wasn't gonna do that shit. So the only ways I learned about any game was just walking down to the game store and looking around. Like, that's how I spent almost every shopping trip my parents went out. I just went down to the game store or the toy section or something, just looked at the things and watched them and imagined what might be there. I just looked at all the games and was like, oh, this is nice. Hey, Ma, can I have this? So I never experienced the whole, this game is coming out thing, unless someone told me it was coming out. Then I get all excited, then I'd forget about it for the longest time, and then someone would go, hey, it's out. I'd be like, oh, cool.
Yeah. The problem that we see with games is, especially with gaming companies, is that when it comes to the reason why I despise EA is because of what they're doing with games in its entirety. It's the exact opposite of Cyberpunk 2077. The exact opposite. You see, what EA has done is they have found a niche market. They have created FIFA. EA Sports is this whole big thing where they release the exact same game every single year, but with a larger number after it. And different names on the exact same polygons.
Yeah.
They don't fix any of the bugs. They advance the graphics just slightly to pass it off as a different game. And that's it. There's nothing new in any of the games. There might be one or two additions, and believe it or not, over the course of years, Like 10 years ago, if I find FIFA 10 years ago, it could be a completely different game from the one that we currently have. I doubt it, but it could be a completely different game. I will admit, I've stayed away from those fucking games because of how much I despise that mentality of releasing the exact same game. Same with Call of Duty. I've stopped playing it because I'm done playing the exact same game. With Cyberpunk, it is based very much around two things. One, it's based around Night City, which you could make and believe it or not, I've made the exact same correlation to Los Santos or from any of the GTA games. It is very similar, like very similar. Is that good? GTA is a great game, but at the same time, do I want GTA and a game I love to be the same game? No. GTA has character customization to Cyberpunk. You can make your person whatever you want them to be, but you can't decide their name, which I'm kind of okay with.
Can't decide the story either.
You can't decide the story either. Well, you do have multiple choice. You have 5 endings.
Yeah. But I mean their background.
Oh, yeah. You have 3 backgrounds, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do.
Huh.
Nomad, Corpo, and Street Kid.
Man, you know, one of these days, like, it's probably not going to happen with the current way the market is, but one of these days, I'd like to see a game where, if depending on the background you choose, you experience a different story. Same game, same world, and like, since you aren't playing these other stories, it has consequences for your story. Like, for example, let's take Dragon Age Origins, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say your background was you're a dwarf or something, but you don't become a warden. The Darkspawn will be dealt with, yes, but because it's not you going through it, a lot of quests will be failed or skipped, and there'll be a lot more struggle, and you'll have to try and navigate around that while fulfilling your own story. Could be interesting, but that would also be a fuck ton of effort, because that's effectively like, I wouldn't say it's the same as making many different games in one, but it's close.
Yeah.
Stop rambling.
No, go ahead, dude. Seriously. Like, I've been talking for a while. I'm more inclined to listen to someone else right now,
Yeah.
and you're bringing up a really good point that honestly needs to be addressed, because when it comes to the butterfly effect in games, sure. When it comes to the butterfly effect, no game beats the idea over the head more than Until Dawn. Jesus Christ! Telltale Games, what the fuck did you do with that game? Oh, jeez. You hammered the butterfly. Like, the entire game. Anytime a decision was made, butterflies would spread across the screen to explain, oh, you just triggered the butterfly effect. We get it. You're good at creating different outcomes depending on anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would be interesting to, have something else that isn't beating over the head. Like, could you implement that in a different game? Or could you actually, have,
Like,
I'm gonna let you talk.
yeah, like that whole butterfly effect Until Dawn did. It would have been probably a lot better if they saved the whole butterflies over the screen for like major decisions. Like for example, when it was like I don't know, when it's like, this important character that could do these 30 things in the story died because of this, then sure, do it then.
Yeah.
But every other decision that changes things, just have it like maybe a small butterfly flies over the corner of the screen or something, you know? Because I will say that definitely something that would take you out of the game when you're really trying to focus. Because that's still a good, like, oh shit kind of moment, but that's also the kind of oh shit moment that goes, I'm playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like those. I played a couple games that do a lot of that shit, and every single time something like that happens, I always get the urge of, can I quick save? Can I quick load? Can I check what the other options do? And when I get that urge, sometimes I give in, sometimes I don't. When I give in, I stop playing a game and I start playing a game. And it's just, it's a problem, because at that point, I'm no longer playing this character that I'm trying to get through a story with. Now, I'm trying to optimize, trying to find what I might want to go through, trying to find that right thing to get through this scenario and for later things. And that takes the fun out of it for me. I hate it that I do that. I love it in the moment, because it's like, yes, I'm going for the best outcome. This is so much fun. This is good. But later on, I lose interest, because it's just, I'm not playing anymore. I'm just there, doing things. It's one of the reasons, for example, why I play Medieval 2 Total War on and off now again. Because, so for those of you that don't know me, it's probably my favorite game. Jay can probably attest to it.
Yeah.
I played a lot of it. And when I was playing it, I eventually discovered the cheat menu. Of course, like most everyone does. I learned a lot of the cheats. That was always so much fun, but I get easily addicted to things. I got addicted to cheating in those games, and it just took all the fucking fun out of it, because whenever I used the cheat menu, it was always a case of, okay, I'm just gonna get these towns to this scenario, to this level, because this or that reason. But once I did that, I then continued playing. I'd shut it off after a couple hours, because it's just, at that point, why bother? The game's already so easy. I can beat it with only I can probably beat it with only a single city.
Mm-hmm.
And just half an army. And now that I've cheated, it's just, why should I bother continuing? It's already over. I've won. I already know the outcome of anything.
I will say, this is a perfect example of, and this is more for the younger or teenage audiences that find this game to be wonderful. I say, as I am 28 years old and I play this game all the time. Minecraft. For those of you who don't know, you can turn cheats on in Minecraft. Enter a code saying /game mode set creative. While you're in a survival world, you can go into creative, build a house, give yourself endless amounts of resources and materials. And guess what? You can do anything in that world. Find a perfect world. Perfect game. But then, what's the point? You already have all of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Why continue on the game? Why play the game? That's...
I think I've played Minecraft for a total of 8-12 hours completely throughout my entire life. And I can trace the entire reason behind it to creative mode.
Yep.
Because, I never discovered the cheat menu thing. That, thankfully, because that would have made even less hours for me. I started in story mode, like almost everyone does, and I loved the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
But then I got into creative mode. And I was like, oh hey, I can make all these cool buildings, these cool houses and whatnot, you know? And I started doing that and made a floating city of gold, effectively, or a castle of gold. And all this and that, but eventually, it came to that whole situation of I'm no longer playing Minecraft. I'm just playing a clicker game. It's no longer me playing a game. I'm just pressing W, clicking W, click, W, click, W, click for hours. Nothing else. And that drains the motivation out of me. I no longer feel like
It kind of
playing
just takes
Minecraft.
it kind of takes the fun out of building, but at the same time, with me, I'm currently on a server with a couple of other guys, including but not limited to Swan. By the way, for those in the audience who are listening, these are people from our Discord groups. Some may or may not be YouTubers that you may or may not know. If they are, wonderful. If not, go check them out. Such as Commander Soul. He was on the game. I don't think he's ever gonna play it, like record it or anything like that. But he got on and got off. I mean, good on him. He was on the game. He's cool. He's chill. But he was on the game. Go check him out if you haven't already. And I am a builder. I am not a fighter. I'm not a miner. I don't do anything like that. I build in games. I build small little villages and things, and I love it. The problem is that it's a modded server.
Yeah.
And the mod is really fun. It's loads of fun. And I hate it. Because I am using creative. I have access to creative mode. And I wished I didn't. I genuinely wished I didn't have access to it. Because it makes me feel guilty. Because I'm a builder. I don't entirely like survival mode on massive servers. Because I'm enjoying building. If ever I'm gonna play Minecraft, it's normally as just it's a palate cleanser to me. It's something I can revert back to and just play for hours and not have to worry about anything. Meanwhile, with like survival, I'm playing for hours and not have to think because I'm mining, I'm building, I'm doing things I'm enjoying. But when it comes to the server, I have other people on there with me. Anything I do, they can see. And I want whatever I'm doing to be the best I can do. Because I am a whore and I want people's validation.
Yep, like I've said before about myself, sometimes I'm an attention whore.
Yep.
Or specifically, I'm a reaction whore. I love seeing people's reactions to things.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good.
Like, people can, like, call me what you want, but I am very much the same. And no, I have a wonderful, I say now, I have a wonderful relationship with my father and with my mother and my brother and my family, except for one, bro.
And
If you're out
comes
there,
all your trauma and life as
if
a
you're
psychiatrist.
bro, if you're still in Oregon, if you're still up there, if you're still up in Seattle, Portland, if you're still up in the Northwest, bro, we miss you. We miss you, man. It's Jay. It's your little bro. We'd love to hear from you sometime. But I have a wonderful relationship with the rest of my family. So I get validation from them. I do. I don't need it from them because I get it from them. The problem is that I get it enough from my family. Why is it that I feel the need to get validation from my friends online, who I will admit are both better and worse at the game than I am. When it comes to technical Minecraft, and when I say technical things, I mean Swan is incredible when it comes to the basic logics of everything, and it is astounding to me. Like, everyone has their little niche that they do. I am a builder. I will admit, I don't understand redstone that well. I can look up a tutorial and I'll still get it wrong. I don't understand redstone. I will never understand. The problem is I was an I was an electrician and I still don't understand fucking redstone. It's wonderful, but I hate it. Thanks.
Apples to oranges, my man.
Yeah. But when I play Minecraft on a server filled with people, I want to present my best work. And I can't do that in survival mode because I'm constantly having to go out, get resources, or I'm having to use a different, like, building palette. Like, with resources that are readily available at the level I'm at. Like, I can't just go out and get endstone, like, at, like, the basic start.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Oh, jeez, my allergies are acting up today. But I always want to show off, like, that's, like, my building skills. I am not the best builder in the server anymore. That belongs to a person known as CU. I am totally envious of him, and if he is listening to this, just know I envy your building skills. I hate you, but I respect you, but I hate you, but I love you. Like, understand, I hate that you're better than me. I love that I can learn from you, and I respect your skill, but I hate that you're better than me.
Well, you'd love me in Minecraft then, cause my best house my best building was just in the ground. It was just a hole in the ground.
Everyone had to start somewhere, dude.
Yeah, I know. Like, like I played Minecraft for a very short time, yes, but I did notice that probably what I found the most enjoyable was just mining down, gathering some resources, carving out a little home. It was simple, small and simple, but I expanded it every now and again, depending on what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I dig down, get resources, upgrade to iron, go faster, all that shit. Get a door, get a bed, get a furnace. Make new rooms, depending on where I want to organize shit. It was fun. Now I want to find a mountain in Minecraft and just carve it out.
Oh, yeah. When it comes to, but away from Minecraft, Mojang, Microsoft, whoever is listening to this, neither of you are because you don't give a shit. Minecraft is such a big game, and if you ruin it, the entirety of our generation is going to boil you alive.
Well,
if
we've
you ruin
said the
Minecraft.
same thing for the last 50 big things, and we haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
It's real sad. It's like there's been a lot of real big things on worldwide that have gotten real popular. Then they've been fucked up, and everyone's always said like, if you do this or that, we'll do this, and no one ever does.
Fair.
Makes me sad.
But I feel like Minecraft has hit so many people. Like, I'm just saying, it has hit the loudest generation. The loudest generation.
They might do something, yes.
Yes. Because it's Gen Z and the millennials. Like, we've kind of grown up with Minecraft in a way. The end tail of the millennials, I will say. We grew up with Minecraft. The beginning of Gen Z and the end of the millennials, we grew up with it. It was our teenage years, it was our young adult years. We love it. It's a wonderful game. Gen Z has grown up playing Minecraft for most of their life, I'd say. Now, when it comes down to it, Gen Z is, at this point in time, the loudest fucking generation.
Yeah.
Because they speak out on every little thing that doesn't fucking affect their life. For the love of God, no, I am not offended by that random freaking guy's accent. No, I don't care that the guy is holding maracas in his hand. No, I don't care. He pronounced it Mexico instead of Mexico. It doesn't fucking matter to me. It doesn't. No, I don't care that the guys were like, I'm sorry. Stop being offended for other people.
I'll be honest with you. They're probably the most privileged and ignorant generation in history.
I want you to know this. You're a part of Gen Z. You're at the very beginning of Gen Z, but you are Gen Z. We came to this discussion.
Yeah, well, I may be part of Gen Z, but where I was in the world, it means I'm not one of them. Let's see. I'm part of them in time, not in space.
Fair. Sure. Let's go with that.
It's the best I can come up with. That's short notice.
Yeah. I will say, like, when it comes to the younger generation, when I say our generation, I mean, like, us 90s kids. We grew up with something very different from what Gen Z will ever grow up with, and Gen Z will grow up with something completely different than younger generations than us.
Gen Alpha will grow up with something very different from whoever the fuck birthed them.
Yep. We are slowly going to evolve as humans, and all the while it's just going to constantly be spawning more and more atrocities. And so far, gaming is a part of our generation.
Hold on.
That
is it Gen C as in Z or Gen C as in C?
Z.
Okay.
Yes.
It always bothers me that they're pronounced the exact same way unless you pronounce C as Z.
Don't worry. I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying?
Anyway, to everyone listening to this, if you leave this video with anything, please understand we are not saying that gaming is good or bad. Gaming is a very fun hobby. It can, in turn, become an addiction.
Yeah.
Such as mine, where I use it as a form of escapism. That is where it becomes a coping mechanism, and an unhealthy one, mind you, that I will admit it is unhealthy. It is a form of escapism. On top of that, gaming, it's something that needs to be, I want to say, taken care of. Because currently, companies have taken our hobby, our pastime, something so many of us love, and they have taken it and they have capitalized on it.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that capitalism is evil. I'm not saying that in the slightest. But at the same time, what they have done is they have turned it into a ignorant cash grab.
Yeah.
With mobile games, you have mobile games that present ads that aren't what the game is at all. And to progress in the game, you have to pay money.
And you have branches of organizations, parts of the organization with people that specifically study human psychology so that they can manipulate you to get as much money out of you as physically possible, while calling it a free-to-play game.
Yep.
I experienced that with Raid Shadow Legends when I got into it for a moment.
Oh yeah.
And I went in there with a Death Knight only squad.
Yeah.
That was my whole thing. I only ever used 4 normal Death Knights and then then on a Ultimate Death Knight for some dungeon thingies when I eventually got that 7-day bonus thingy. And
Yeah.
even then, with just that, with the only thing I was gonna do was just go through the campaign, get them to the max level and whatnot, like, I had no reason to hurry at all. I mean, I just put it on, whenever, like, I get that 30 auto battle thingies a day, I just put on the second monitor, have it auto battle while I watch or play something else. That's all I did. But even then, the game got me to spend like almost $100 on it.
Yeah.
And that's just insane.
Yeah, it is. The problem that I see with games like that, it's a current. There's another game. It's a type of game. What's the word I'm looking for? Starts with a G.
No.
Oh, it's
Damn it, God, it's not Geneva Convention.
It's gotcha games.
Gotcha games, yeah.
Yeah.
It probably says something about me that when you said something that begins with G, the first thing I thought of was Geneva Convention.
Yeah, and I'm the murder hobo. Yes.
I'm the genocidal maniac.
Yeah. But with gotcha games, there needs to, I'm sorry, gaming companies, I know no one is going to listen to this. You need to stop making them. Or if you do, have it to where you are actually able to acquire any type of hero you want. Or have it be to where you can pick one out after a while. If you don't, what's the fucking point? Your game's gonna get boring. I know
Like,
that you're only
at
doing it for
minimum-
money, but still.
Like, at minimum, have it so you can start with any particular hero you wish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, like that's the only thing you really need to do. It's like you can start with any hero, pick it. The rest you have to get the old-fashioned way. That
Yeah.
would be fine. That would solve a lot of the gripe I have about these games. Cause like bring it back to Raid Shadow Legends. I just wanted Death Knight, only Death Knight. He's a common champion. Do you
Yeah.
want to know how long it took me to get 4 of him?
Are you serious?
Yeah, cause there are so many common champions in the game.
Wow. How long did it take you?
It took me 27 hours of straight gameplay collectively. Yeah. To get 4 of them. And then I had to upgrade him to up to 6 stars when he begins at 1. And in order to get a star up, you have to get him, for example, when he has 1 star, level 10 is the max. Get him all the way up, then he can ascend to the 2nd star.
Don't worry, I've
20,
played.
20 levels and all that shit, you know?
Yeah, I've played Raid. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. It takes
I
a
have.
while.
Yeah, I will say with Raid, I got sucked into it because I was like, screw it, why not? New game on the phone, why not? I mean, it looks like one of them JRPGs that I used to play a long time ago, like Octopath, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I got sucked into it completely.
Fucking sucks.
And
Like-
immediately I'm just met with, buy this. Like every time I access the game, it's like 10 billion ads for loot boxes, and I'm like, I just want to play a
You
game.
wanna know what it's like right now?
Hmm.
Like, whenever you enter the game, you have like 3 to 6 pop-ups that you need to close.
Mhm.
And then whenever you go on to, like, off the main screen with, like, your keep and whatnot, go to another menu. Whenever you go back, it's like the pick of the day for the pop-up. That one comes up. You have to close it. Only one, though. Only one. But it's every time you enter another menu or enter another section and come back.
Oh, that would piss me off.
Yeah.
That would piss me off completely.
But hey, I did accomplish my goal. I got
Hmm.
those 4 Death Knights to level 60 max stars. Can't ascend them. And I got the real good equipment. And I have completed the campaign on Brutal.
Golf claps all around. Golf
And I
claps
got
all
all
around.
3 stars in every single campaign level up to Brutal.
Oh my god, no!
That means 2 champions only through the entire thing.
Congrats. Wonderful. Good job.
I need to figure out how to get through Nightmare and that with only these guys though.
Oh, don't try. You're gonna fail.
I set myself a goal. I'm gonna have to try it somewhat. But
Also,
yeah.
to raid, just so you know, if you are using a sacred shard or whatever it's called, actually have it drop what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, when I first played the game, 10 sacred shards. Like, I acquired 10 of them.
Yeah.
Not a single one dropped a... Hold on, why is my... I know no one can see this.
Yeah.
This just shows my ADD.
His camera went all like, hey, you want to focus on nothing, right?
There's a speck of dust on the lens, I guess.
See, this is why you need glasses so you can have this just on the table.
I do have glasses, actually.
Uh,
Oh, Jesus, come on. Work with me.
no, I refuse. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Sweet. I guess it was a speck of dust.
It must have been.
Yeah. But, Raid, understand, your game is fine. Your game's fine.
It's
The problem...
it's okay, actually.
The problem I have with it is that when it comes to the gacha system, you're supposed to actually be able to acquire. Are they legendary, exotic? Like, everyone has a different tier system. For yellow or golden is always like the highest tier. Like with Destiny, yellow was
Yeah,
exotic.
yeah. Golden is the highest. Purple is epic. Let's see, there's common, uncommon, rare, very rare, epic, and legendary. Yeah, I think there's
Okay,
6
legendary.
tiers, like there are 6 stars.
Okay, so legendary. I'm guessing that's yellow.
Yeah, that's gold.
Your legendary champion, shard, hero, character guy. Actually have them able to be dropped. Like, actually able to be acquired. Because 10 shards went through all of them. Not a single legendary champion
I think
from
they've
10.
done that a little better now, where like you have different shards for like different rarities, not up to 6. It's like each shard level has like 3 rarities. Some overlap, but they mainly allow you. And
Yeah.
right now they also have events where there's increased chance to get this specific champion during these things. And basically the way it's been described to me is that if during this event you roll a bunch of shards and you don't get them, that keeps increasing your chance to get them as you roll more. But that's for this specific champion, you know? So you know.
That's interesting.
It's
But if it just increases your chances of getting it, that still means, oh, you're not actually guaranteed anything until this thing that is going to be very hard to achieve later on.
like in a year, like I don't know how long I've actually played the game because you know it's the type of game you just I have it on my PC because I like the pretty pictures. It's the type of game I put on my second monitor and have it auto battle, and when I watch anime just and then just click next. Oh, click next. Click next. It's that type of game, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how long I've actually played it, but I've gotten 4 Death Knights up to level 60 and all this stuff. I've played it for a while now. And I think collectively, if I also take into account all the champions I've sacrificed, I think I've managed to collect about 600-700 champions total.
Damn.
Yeah. And I think out of them, 5, maybe 7 were legendary.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
and I when my Death Knights got to rank 4, like 4 stars, that's when I started sacrificing epics and legendaries to them to upgrade them higher. They were the only ones with the proper stars.
Marwin!
I was never gonna use them. I set up with a goal of legendaries only. I stuck to it. No, Death Knights only.
Marwin!
I know.
No!
But
Dear
I wasn't
God,
gonna go
no.
pay for chickens.
Fair enough. But
And I also wasn't gonna grind up another common to that fucking level just to
oh
sacrifice them.
jeez,
So, you know.
yeah.
So it's
I
just
will
like,
say,
still, right now, my master and the Servault, I think I have a collective slots for, like, in each one I have like 130 in the master, 120 in the Reserve Vault. One I have for duplicates, another I have for individuals, and I've started just collecting a fuck ton of shit.
yeah.
Ugh.
I will say, when it comes to gacha games, when it comes to the acquiring champions through loot boxes idea and mentality, you are gaming companies that do that. You're doing yourself a disservice. Like you really are. Look at the success of, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Look at the success of Blizzard's Overwatch.
Yeah, like it's so successful that if you go to play Overwatch 2, there's people out there that have like 40,000 in the waiting queue. And it is insane.
Like, and understand the game itself, all of the operators, champions, heroes, characters are available to the player.
It really is just
The
something
only
else.
thing that you pay for is cosmetics. That's it.
That's really all you properly need. Anything beyond that, unless the cosmetics just aren't selling, anything beyond that is just greed at that point.
Pretty much, yeah. And with mobile games, a lot of people would probably pay for cosmetics because they want to see something different.
Like, I remember when cosmetics was the only thing you could get from these stores.
Yeah. I mean, take a look at Clash of Clans, for example. To speed things up, you have to use gems. And now, at a certain point, gems are just completely useless.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason. And now, what do they have you pay for? Cosmetics. That's it. It's that in a season pass. In the season pass, it doesn't all help that much. It's still a free game. Gaming companies, please look at Supercell. Look at these companies that are doing things correctly, that people enjoy, people like. Look at their success. Why aren't you following suit?
Yeah. Like,
Here's why.
Like I would
Greed.
say, a company's entire purpose for being created is to make money, and that's fine. That's its
Yeah.
purpose in existing. It's why it exists.
Yeah.
But it becomes a problem when it starts sacrificing quality of its product, because at that point, it's still making money, but very few people are happy.
Yeah.
Like, the company is doing what it's supposed to, the people in it are not.
Yeah. I will say, Garwin, my back is starting to kill me
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
noticed.
Yeah. For those of you who have made it to this point, recently, last Friday, I had a surgery done to my lower back. As many of you know, I have degenerative disc disease in my lumbar spine around my disc LP and L5. And recently I had disc LP removed and replaced with a Gel disc. Well, I didn't have it removed per se, I just had a Gel disc placed above it, just so that way my bone wasn't still grinding on my bone, and it's still healing. Like, my back is still healing from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be calling it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it here because I'm in some pain. I need to go lay down for a bit.
Yeah. Like, and I was trying to call for a second there because I noticed you sneezed and got into a bit of pain. But then it continued, and I was gonna go and say that we were gonna end it.
Yeah. Like, whenever I mute, like, just people know, Garwin has seen me mute a couple times to sneeze. Afterwards, I'm screaming. Like,
Yeah.
my pain, whenever I sneeze, like, just merely moving and sneezing, my pain goes from a nice 4 to a good 10. It jumps up rapidly. But
like seriously,
yeah.
whenever you sneeze, afterwards your mouth opens wider than a white girl at a black party. I could have said
Fuck you.
casting couch instead, but I
Fuck
didn't
you.
want to be vague.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You can go suck it.
Oh, I will.
I know y'all. Anyways, everyone, thank you all so much for joining in on this episode of Flannel Legacies. I hope you have enjoyed this topic of gaming ideology, or as I would personally like to say, gaming personas. To end, just understand our point of view on this. We started out saying how games have become this series of just it's a big point where I'm talking but I'm not talking.
Yeah.
Everyone just understand our point of view on games and this whole thing behind gaming personas. We have lived in a way where our entire identities have kind of become games, where my personality when it comes to science fiction, it is based around a game, Observer and Cyberpunk. I love those games. They're my personality. Garwin, medieval. His style is fantasy and medieval things.
Yeah.
Ye olden days, if you will.
Age of Empires, my man.
Definitive
mythology followed.
Yeah. But when it comes to these personas that we have, they're temporary. If you or anyone that you do care about has fallen into what I have also fallen into, to where we're now using gaming as a way of coping with pain or emotional traumas or depression, anxiety, anything, reach out to them. Try to get them help. Believe it or not, you're going to be doing them a big service.
Yeah.
But you're doing them a disservice if you ignore it.
Like, they won't like it when you reach out to them and all that shit, but they'll like it afterwards.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, speaking as someone who uses gaming as a way to pass the time and an excuse not to go outside, because I've only recently learned this about myself, and I don't know what it is or why it is about, but I have trouble leaving the door.
Yeah. But everyone, thank you all so much for listening to this. As just to reiterate, if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma due to asbestos exposure, you are entitled to free financial compensation. But seriously, if you are dealing with like using gaming as a coping mechanism, please reach out. Like I know I joke like the earlier joke was just that it's a joke, but please reach
Yeah.
out to people who are in need of help.
Yeah. Like-
It is a massive thing that you should and can do.
Like me, for example, I never like it when someone reaches out to me and goes, "Hey, let's go do this outside." And I always dread it. I don't say no because
Oh, yeah.
I have a hard time saying no in general. But I always love it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It is something I really need, and a lot of people do.
Yeah. Gaming is a great hobby, but it should remain that.
A
A
hobby.
hobby,
Not
not
your
a.
life, a hobby.
Mhm. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we hope you have a very nice day.
See you
Bye-bye.
later, you beautiful bastards.